The last chapter of Magic Treehouse Merlin Missions number 22, Hurry Up Houdini, Peyton will be performing her magic tricks. We're still out of work on that one. Okay, thank you, Peyton. Chapter 10, Best Escaped Act Ever. Annie grinned at Jack. Done, she whispered. Done, Jack agreed. Now we can leave. Harry and I have to go too, said Bess. I want to get him out of here before he attracts the wrong types. Hooligans and crazy fans? Asked Annie. You got it, said Bess. Harry, she called, time's up. Harry excused himself from the crowd of people and walked back to the bench. Thanks, sweetheart, he said. I couldn't escape. He winked at Bess, then looked at Jack and Annie. They think I do truly magical things, but it's not true. It's all just entertainment. It's all just tricks. Harry's never even seen anyone do a trick he couldn't do himself, said Bess. That's a fact, said Harry. Nothing ever. Amazing, said Annie. Amazing, yes. But it's also a great sadness, said Harry, frowning. The world's lost its wonder for me. I would be so happy, just once, to see a bit of magic I could never do or never explain. Really? Said Jack. Yes, but it's not going to happen, Harry said with a sigh. Well, I'm ready, my love. Let's go home. Yes, let's, said Bess, standing. She looked at Jack and Annie. Which way are you two going? Just down that way, Jack said, and then he had a great idea. He smiled at Annie. Let's walk them as far as the Japanese tea garden. Annie's eyes lit up. She seemed to know what Jack was thinking. Good plan, she said. Sure, let's all go together, said Bess. You have any idea what their plan is?
So, Houdini real magic?
What kind of real magic would they have? Any ideas?
Sorcerer magic?
Just be thinking. Harry, Bess, Jack, and Annie all stepped down from the terrace and started up the broad avenue. The band was playing. After the ball was over, the crowd had thinned out. The lights were starting to dim. What a fantastic park, said Harry. Did you try many rides? The pirate ship? Or the Navy ship sailing the deep ocean? The Arctic trip? No, but we've done all those things before, said Jack. Did you get to experience the cyclone attraction too, said Bess? The volcano? The big fire? Actually, we've experienced all those things too, said Jack. Really? Said Bess. So you must have been in this park a long time. No, I was talking about real life, Jack said matter-of-factly. My sister and I travel in a magic treehouse to different times and places and have lots of adventures.
That sounds like a lot like Annie.
Annie grinned. Jack's telling the truth, she said. We've been all through time. Harry and Bess chuckled. Sounds like a good act, said Harry. It does, doesn't it? Said Bess delightedly. Where else do you perform your act besides Coney Island? We don't really perform this act for anyone, said Annie. It's usually a secret. But we'll show it to you, said Jack. Lucky us, said Bess, winking at Harry. The treehouse is parked in the Japanese tea garden, said Annie. You want to see it? It'll only take a minute. Sure, why not, said Harry. Bess and Harry followed Jack and Annie over to the wooden gate that led to the Japanese tea garden. They followed them through the gateway, up the pebble path, and over the small arched bridge to the cluster of trees. There, said Annie. She pointed up at one of the trees. A tree house. Well, how about that? Said Harry. He sounded genuinely surprised. I never knew that was there. That's because it's only been here for a few hours, said Annie. You want to watch us take off? Asked Jack. Take off? Said Bess. Yep, the tree house is going to take us back home to Pennsylvania now, said Jack, to a time more than 100 years from today. In the future, Annie added. Bess and Harry laughed. You might be the looniest kids in the world, said Bess. Or the best actors, said Harry. Wait and see, said Annie. She held out her hand. Bye, Harry. It's been great knowing you. Harry shook Annie's hand, and then he shook Jack's. Bess grabbed each of them and gave them big hugs. You two kiddos are great, she said, giggling. You're just my kind of screwballs. They all laughed. Then Jack and Annie climbed up the rope ladder. Inside the treehouse, Annie picked up the Pennsylvania book, and she and Jack looked out the window. Bye! They both waved to Harry and Bess. The Houdinis waved back. I wish we could go home. Annie whispered as she pointed to a picture of Frog Creek. Behold a miracle! Jack shouted down to Bess and Harry. He clapped 3 times. 1, 2, 3. The wind started to blow.
The treehouse started to spin faster and faster. Then everything was still, absolutely still.
The Frog Creek woods were quiet and peaceful. The early evening light filtered into the treehouse. Jack and Annie were wearing their own clothes again. Now that was the best escape act ever, said Annie. Jack smiled. I wanted to make Harry happy. We showed him something he'll never be able to explain. Jack looked at his watch. As always, no time had passed in Frog Creek while they'd been on their mission. 6 minutes to get home, said Jack. Yep, but first we have to write down our new secret of greatness, said Annie. Jack pulled out a pencil and picked up the paper that was still lying on the floor. And under the word humility, he wrote, hard work. Hard work, said Annie. That's so simple. Yep, said Jack. Sometimes the truth is amazingly simple. He placed the ring of truth on top of the paper. And I'll leave this too. He took the little bottle from his backpack and placed it beside the ring. For next time. Mist gathered at first light on the first day of the new moon on the Isle of Avalon, said Annie. Jack closed his backpack. Okay, that's it. Let's go. Mom's hot dogs are waiting. Greatest in the world, said Annie. The 2 of them climbed down from the ladder and headed through the trees. You know what? Said Annie. What? Asked Jack. You know how we were supposed to learn a secret of greatness from the great Houdini? Annie said. Yep, said Jack. And we kept waiting for Harry to say or do something that made the ring glow, said Annie. Yeah, said Jack. But in the end, we learned the secret from Bess, not Harry, said Annie. You're right, said Jack. So I think Bess was the great Houdini that Merlin sent us to find, said Annie. Why do you think Bess was great? Asked Jack. Well, she was kind and funny and friendly, said Annie. Yeah, said Jack. Like you. Me, said Annie. Huh? She looked a little embarrassed. Well, also she was a loyal person. She was loyal to Harry. That's true, said Jack. She was loyal like you are, said Annie. Me? Said Jack. Yep, you came right back when you realized I needed help, said Annie, even though I'd made you really mad. Well, you were loyal too, said Jack. You didn't hold a grudge because I'd left you. Me? Loyal? Said Annie. And kind and funny and friendly? You think I'm all that? Seriously? Me? Okay, forget it, said Jack, grinning. No, I'm going to remember all those things, said Annie. And the next time you're mad at me, I'm going to remind you how great I am. How loyal and kind and funny. Okay, that's enough, said Jack. Bye. He took off running. He ran out of the Frog Creek woods, across the street and down the sidewalk. Wait, slow down. You can't escape from me, said Annie. She ran after Jack as fast as she could and caught up with him before he reached home. And let's see if you can answer the questions, Peyton. And y'all see if you know the answers. The first question. Jack and Annie meet a nice couple named Harry and Bess. Houdini, right?
Mama Jinx was behind the computer.
I know. Number 2, the great Houdini performs at blank's music hall. Remember that one? What's the name of the music hall? I didn't remember that one. Starts with an H. Henderson's Music Hall. Number 3, Jack and Annie can't get into the theater because they don't have what? They don't have what? What don't they have? Why couldn't they get in? They gotta have a, starts with a T. Ticket. When it's time for Jack and Annie to take the stage, Jack says, it's blank. It's
Time?
not just time, but starts with S.
Showtime.
It's showtime. And number 5, every time Jack and Annie finish a magic trick, the blank crashes. The blank crash, excuse me. It makes a sound like bang. Starts with C. Every time the cymbals crash. Okay. Jack and Annie travel to blank to find the great stage magician Harry Houdini. Blank Island.
Coney
Coney Island. The end.